we here behind the scenes know that Tanira's player, Bearded Jalapeno, is busy, but I'm interrupting him real quick. Tanira, you find yourself working on a piece of wood.
I'm probably going to be using the non-treated wood, like the...
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. You're like looking around for the non-treated wood. It's not anywhere.
Oh.
You look around and your master's just like, hey, pay attention, Tanira. That's okay. You want a lathe? You do it like this. Okay?
Okay.
You are in a apprenticeship with 20 other prospective ex-convicts who are trying to learn the ancient, very difficult to master, lucrative art of carpentry, of which you already know you will be the only graduate of this class, but that hasn't come yet. Right now, those other 20 are still here. What are you trying to make?
Probably a rocking horse.
That is a very involved project. You know, right now you're working on the actual rocking part, the smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is at their own various stages. Some of them have already finished the rocking part. Others have decided to start on the horse face. You could see the master has walked in front of one of them and is just like grabs him by his hair and he's like, "You think that's funny? You think you can just? You think that looks like a? You think a child is going to want to get a horse that looks like that? I have told you once, if I've told you 100 times, you need to think before you put anything on this wood. This does not look like a horse in any way, not even abstractly. All right? You are not using your brain. You're going to go right back to where I found you. All right? Is that where you want to be? Okay.
No.
People are very tense in here. You get a bunch of criminals who are basically being given a job work parole, which you were lucky to get. And you stick them all in a room together with a guy who is very ill-tempered. It's not going great. But twice a day, when you get to go out for breaks, you get to see that guy. Can you tell us what your husband looks like? You haven't married him yet.
Yeah. I was thinking he was going to be dwarvish, with a large beard. Very stout, nice blue eyes. I don't know. Just seems very aloof.
Twice a day while you're on break, you see him working. He is an apprentice at the forge just across from your woodworking place. Every once in a while, you see him looking at you while you're eating. He's eating. He sees something you're fiddling with in your hands, and he just gives you a nod and then goes back to eating. It's like two cats. Yeah, Neo, you like that? You like that description? You turn back to look at him. His skin is cracked and blistering, ooze pushing out of it. He's dead. He's been dead for days. You came back to the village and he's dead. They burned him to death.
This is in the future?
Listen, your dreams are fucking wild right now.
Gotcha.
You're just like, what? This is not how that happened. Like, you're skipping between scenes at high speed.
Gotcha. I just burst into tears on my knees,
Someone puts a
looking into
hand
his
on your
eyes.
shoulder.
Turn around and see who it is.
As you're turning, you hear Simon say, "Don't worry, I'll always be with him." When you turn, you see a blackened, shriveled arm, a completely burnt little corpse.
Please, not again. Wake up, Tanira. Wake up.
You wake up.
I search around for any kind of liquid.
Someone has left a pitcher of cold water outside your door.
Drink as much as I can. It just runs all over me, and then I just dump the rest of it on my head. When will these end? I'll just lay back in bed.
At some point, you get up and you head outside. The innkeeper takes the key back from you to settle up. And he says, "Got something for you here."
Turn back around and see what he's got.
He pulls a big sheet of paper out from behind the counter. You don't read Dwarvish.
Right.
There's like 22 things scrawled on this in Dwarvish. Different ink colors, smudge, like inks. In some cases, people just like drew an X or a heart on it.
Mm.
Someone left this for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I put it in my bag with everything else. Appreciate your hospitality. Hope
Yeah,
to see
just
you
let
again.
me, real quick before you go, if you were to recommend this establishment to a friend, what would you say about it?
The finest bath I've ever had.
Wow. Okay. Well, you have a great day.
And you as well. If it's time, I'd like to rejoin the group, unless it's, I got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, you slept through the night, so.
Yeah.
Not
so much slept.
Guineria, I assume that you slept up in the camps?
Yep.
What did Kithrix and Godric do? How did they get through the night?
I would have gotten some sort of inn in the downstairs part.
Sure.
So
yeah, I don't think I'd have strayed too far from Kithrix.
Okay.
If she stayed at an inn, I probably would have tried to stay at the same inn.
How good of an inn are we looking for here?
I would be going for modest or comfortable lifestyle equivalent.
You can definitely get modest. Comfortable is possible. Yeah, okay. So for essentially 2 gold pieces, the two of you can stay and get breakfast and a chilled bottle of either water or wine in the morning. Each of you gets your own separate room, but they have an adjoining door with separate key if you want to unlock the inner doors, just like suites. It's got like its own writing desk and like books about the local area, just in case you want to read up. And each of them also has a map. You don't know how to read the map because the map, well, Godric knows how to read the map because it's a miner's map of the under areas, but I think Kithrix, you're looking at it and you're just like, this is not a topological map for sure. It is a 2-dimensional representation of a 3-dimensional mining outlay. But it's in Dwarven Miners Code, so even if you could physically read it, it's still like encoded.
I've seen maps like that before, and I just had flashbacks.
Used to live in Pennsylvania, so I've seen these bad boys. Yeah. somehow the three of you end up taking the first piston back up with a well-rested Drongo round cask. Drongo looks at the three of you, looks at Tanira, and kind of is like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well," kind of look, and then says, afraid the wagon's still heating up, but I can offer a cold breakfast if the three of you,
Sure.
do you like cheese?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pay him for the three of us to have whatever provisions he's got ready.
So he's offering like a cold breakfast of like nut loaf and some cold cheese and glasses of goat's milk.
You can do the Harry Potter thing, just buy the whole cart with all your money.
Yeah, you could just buy the whole cart.
I'm not gonna buy the whole cart.
3 silver pieces.
Okay.
Definitely could buy the whole cart.
I'm not trying to buy the whole cart.
But you could if you wanted to.
I'm aware that I could.
Drongo, if you guys are interested in conversation, Drongo would love to talk to you, and if you are not, he leaves you in silence.
I mean, I'm pretty much nosing the book when I'm not being directly addressed at the moment. So
Okay. Mark down that you require 199 more days of study to learn basic Draconic.
no worries. Thankfully, I get it automatically at next level, but it's sort of that's a magical thing.
You assume that you'll level in the next 199 days.
You assume we're not going to be killed by a giant dragon.
Right. I assume we're all going to be killed by Sparky, but that's not here yet. I think if Drongo is willing to have conversation, Godric would respond.
Drongo's conversations this early in the morning are about the upcoming weather for the day and how well the local sports teams have been doing. There's like 2 teams in Mechanicsburg, and when the sailors have time, they form a Imperium team, an Empire team, for something like rugby, which is taken very seriously among the dwarves.
I think I would begin immediately pointing out all the flaws that the Imperial team would have when facing a good team of Dwarven rugby players.
Drongo will agree with you because there are no humans present. You get the idea that Drongo doesn't have strong feelings either way, but will agree with you because there's no one he could offend present. You make it to the top where you see Guineria is engaged in are you the flute player or the lute player?
Neither.
Neither? Wait, what was your instrument of choice? I thought one of you was playing the flute and the other one the lute. Am I crazy?
No, flute and clarinet.
Clarinet. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's engaged in a rousing clarinet solo for people who are waking up. Like they're like getting up in the morning and hearing this clarinet jam, and they're like, "Oh God, it's too early in the morning for this." But for some reason, I feel really good.
Yeah.
I feel like the blood in my body has returned.
Morning.
Technically, it's a sham, but whatever.
Okay.
That's what it's listed as.
Yep. Not to be confused with a shawarma.
No.
That is a sandwich.
Whatever Drogo had, I'd buy an extra portion for Guinevere and bring that to her when we're done with the elevator.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Welcome back.
You didn't come down last night? You stayed up here?
First I wanted to try and get some information, but that didn't really go so well. So I spent some time, helping, easing the pains of many a sailor. A lot of nasty burns from fire and acid. I think it's safe to say whatever we're getting ourselves into is likely going to be traumatic.
I think I would have just used the word dangerous. Traumatic sounds a bit demoralizing.
We could say dangerous if you wish. There are a number of other words that also could be used, but that's fine. I'm supposed to be succinct. I don't like it, but it's okay.
You hear someone approaching all of you as people begin moving out of the way. Like you hear some people like moving into a position where they can salute someone as the captain approaches the group of the four of you and takes her hat off and says, "Well, are the four of you ready to set sail?
I do
Departure time
the
is
worst
in
possible salute. Like
please don't do that. It is deeply offensive.
No.
The four of you are not members of the Imperial Sky Knights, nor are you Imperial citizens, I believe. So feel no need to salute to me. You will simply need to follow orders as they are issued. Your areas of specialty are in killing things. So we will have various tasks on board for all of you. Are any of you carpenters?
I am.
Oh, all right. That's great. Do you mind lending your carpentry talents?
Not at all.
Very well. Anyone a sailor or have any skill with ropes?
I mean, I can use a rope. I'm not a sailor.
Great, you're a seaman's apprentice now.
I can tie knots.
You've got the singing and performing thing down, so you are going to be an apprentice shantyman. What is your specialty exactly? Are you some sort of cook or chef?
Yes, Captain. I'm proficient in the kitchen.
Okay. We're going to use you. I need to be straightforward with all of you. This is a supply ship. The bottom deck opens seagull wing style. So do not push the red button by the staircase unless you would like to fall. You are not proficient with the thopters. Do not board one. Don't know what a thopter is. Don't touch anything that you think might be a thopter. There's a prisoner on board. Do not speak with him. Do not look at him. Do not do anything to him at all. He will be tried in a court if and when we return. The four of you will have a private crew quarters to yourselves on the third deck.
Thank you, Captain.
Very well. My man will assign you your individual duty stations. Apprentice, 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 master carpenter. I hope you have a pleasant journey and that we don't have need of your services. Sorry. I'm afraid, did I introduce myself?
I don't believe you did.
Captain Lin Thu. He holds out a hand for you to shake.
I shake her hand.
Okay.
Give her one of these.
Quineria, you're pretty sure that's not her full name. But her name in Elvish, what she gives to you, means wind singer, which is, it's very odd. It's like it's something that someone from your mom's generation would have been named.
You said Lin Thule?
Lin Thule. There's an umlaut over the E and an accent mark over the U.
There's an E in there?
Yeah, Lin Thule. There's a D-E.
Lind Thule.
Lin Thule. Yeah, trust me, it's Elvish, you know.
Got it.
Kitrix Dust Braid of the Western Forest Dust Braids. I'm just kidding, that's how half the names work.
Captain.
Okay. She puts her hats back on, turns and walks away.
Always with the multiple hats.
I keep saying hats, but I mean hat. Listen, I don't want to hear it from
3 peaks, right?
I don't want to hear it from people who say maths instead of math, okay?
I mean the rest of the world. Okay, no worries.
Just because the rest of the world does it, doesn't mean I have to jump off a bridge too.
Mathematics. There you go. Solves the problem.
What was the
Sure.
name of the ship we're on?
You don't know the name of the ship yet.
You don't
No
know
one
the
has
ship.
actually gone to
Is
check.
it written on the side?
Again, no one has gone to check. Are you going to check?
Well, I was supposed to get on the ship.
Can we
Okay.
just ask the
Back,
captain
actually.
what the name of our ship is?
She turns back around and says, yes, the name of the ship is the Lumbering Behemoth.
Wonderful.
I believe you will find some of the lower deck crewmen call it the Big Un.
Is it a boy or a girl?
You're asking me if the ship is a boy or a girl.
Oh, I mean, the sailors call it her or he or.
The Big Un, like the William T, is masculine in gender. Are there any other ancillary questions?
Am I getting paid for my carpentry skills?
Absolutely. You
Is
will
there
be
really a
paid
place
at
called the
standard
Poop Deck?
imperial pay scale.
Wonderful.
She turns and leaves. Again. Hat's still on. Second hat somewhere nearby.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just a
a-
ship. It's not a person.
It has feelings. It's made from natural things. Why couldn't it have a feelings? Why can't it have a soul?
Well, I will try and speak with it, but if it doesn't answer,
Maybe you're not speaking the right language.
elves know how to speak to the trees.
Do you
I
have
think I could.
you have speak with plants?
No.
Okay.
But
Just making sure.
I'll speak Sylvan and we'll see if it understands or not.
Sylvan is the language of the Fae.
Well, who live in the trees?
I mean, in a dense assortment of natural locations, sure.
Yes.
You
If I
attempt-
hear. If I can start speaking Sylvan, I'll happily run over and start speaking Sylvan back, since I also speak Sylvan and no one
Yes.
else I've encountered outside does.
Oh,
The two of you speak Sylvan, and the ship does not answer you. The lumbering
Nice.
behemoth.
okay.
I'll try Goblin for good measure.
You start speaking Goblin, and several sailors nearby look deeply alarmed. I need a perception check from Godric.
Oh Lord. Okay. Is that perception?
Yep.
Nope.
There is a skulking goblin somewhere near you, Godric. They like to infiltrate these, these mountain ways. Those ears, silver piece apiece.
Does he look like he's part of the crew, or
I mean, you don't know where yet, but you hear a filthy goblin speaking its obscene tongue.
oh Lord? I think a little wary. I'm going to pat the side of the ship and say, well, as long as the ship gets us from point A to point B, it'll have my respect to like continue into our conversation. But I think after hearing it laugh, he starts like very warily looking around, trying to like spot out or pick out where it could be hiding, where it came from.
I mean, on a 9, you don't find it.
Yeah, I figured as much. Did anyone hear that just now?
Nope.
You know what?
That, or the other thing. There's a lot going on.
Never mind.
Tanira, as soon as you step on board, you are whirlwinded onto the top deck of this ship, where you are put into immediate work, crafting wooden boards and planks to reinforce the ship and have emergency repair supplies done.
Throw myself into my work.
I would like you to make a carpentry tools proficiency check. You have proficiency in it?
Yes.
Okay. Make a check.
What is that check?
It is your dexterity plus your proficiency modifier.
Okay, so just a dex check.
Yes, but again, you get proficiency to it. So I think that's like a +2 or +3 for you guys right now.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
+3. Yeah. Just normal, right?
Yep.
All right. It's not great.
So that's a 15 total.
Yeah.
You spend about 30 seconds working on this, and the ship's master just nods his head and goes, "Okay, you're the real deal. I'm not gonna have to watch you," and like moves on to the next person who's just like, "All right, apprentice, if I told you once, I've told you 100 times, that's not how you use a lathe." You lose yourself in your work very quickly that you barely even notice the ship taking off. Kithtrix,
Yes.
you are assigned to rope work in the undermast rigging. This will require you to wait in the bilge deck of the ship, and then when they open and release the undermast, you will be hanging off of a spar.
Okay.
Okay. So for now, until the ship takes off, you basically are waiting in a supply cavern with a number of unusual looking wooden vessels. There are 4 of them. They look like segways with wings.
I wonder if these are thopters. I better not touch them. I'd definitely go and touch them.
Okay, you touch a thopter?
Well, I just like check it out. Like,
Okay, make an Arcana check when you touch it.
I don't push any buttons, but
Yeah, just make an Arcana check when you touch it.
Right.
You're a spellcaster, right?
Yeah.
What do you want it to do when you touch it?
I don't know. I'm just seeing what it does.
Okay, you're thinking about knowing what it does when you touch it. It jerks out of your hand, just immediately jolts forward. Like as soon as your hand leaves contact with it, it stops moving.
Okay. Probably swear at it.
One of the sailors nearby is like, "Why are you swearing at a thopter?"
Oh, so I didn't touch it. It did. No, it did that on its own. I was just over here.
I didn't say you touched it.
Neither did I. Okay, we're all good then. What are you doing over there? Why are you looking at you look at your job. I'll do my job.
All right. Make a perception check real quick, Kithtrix.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on fire today with the low rolls.
There is a makeshift prison in the back of... I haven't actually described the bilge deck to you. On the top of the bilge deck is a weighted keel that looks like it's made out of some super dense, like, lead or something that runs along the ceiling and is then reinforced periodically from both the ceiling and then through a series of poles up the middle. Cargo is inlaid on the semi-rounded bottom of the ship, but it's clear to you that the ship's bottom is meant to open up. So the cargo is hanging from nets. At the bottom of the ship will open up and unleash some of this cargo straight down that you think is supposed to deploy into a mast. At the back, the very back by the ladder, the like opening wing action doesn't reach that far. And there is a makeshift prison with a very surly, beaten guy with like a untreated burn wound on part of his head, who is trying to get the attention of some of the sailors, and they are all actively ignoring him. 11 isn't good. You missed something in the process, but it's good enough to let you know that this guy is like, he's not looking at you, but he's looking at everybody else, trying to like get them to come over to him.
Is he human?
He is human, yes.
Okay, nice. But he looks like his injuries aren't getting
They're
worse.
not life-threatening.
No, okay. All right. Well, I'll at least try to. I won't go and touch him. I will avoid him like I've been instructed.
Okay. Godric. What job did we have you apprenticing? Oh, cook.
Yes.
You got those cooking utensils. Let's put those to use. It's potato peeling time. I mean, they just listen. They just got resupplied from a dwarven outpost. I don't know what you know about them dwarves and the root vegetables, but it's going to be potatoes and carrots for the next few days.
I want to see a natural 20 and him just rip through these potatoes.
I would love to see a natural 20.
He's still
We
got a
are-
strangely shaped rhubarb I gave him as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we are starving for a nat 20 tonight
Bum,
here.
ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
We have had some terrible rolls.
Where's my cook's tools?
If you haven't added to a sheet yet, just do proficiency plus dex.
Efficiency plus dex.
Are you summoning up your dwarven ancestors to aid you in this?
I mean, if all they're doing is having me peel potatoes, I don't think so.
Okay. I just
I
wanted to know.
don't think there's any reason to try to spook the crew.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would be very alarming if you suddenly summon dwarven ghosts.
You said plus dex?
Yep, plus dex,
Okay.
plus proficiency.
Okay, so that's a +2 and a -1.
Sheesh.
So
All right.
16.
The ship's chef walks over, takes a look at you, and goes, "All right, you know what you're doing."
I just kind of like look at him sideways, like it's peeling potatoes. You can't really peel them wrong.
He points to another member of the crew. That immediately proves you wrong. You got potatoes that are like striped. They've got like 6 thin strips of skin on them, and the chef's just like, "No, that's no, Pally boy, that's no. Do it again and do it right, and don't waste potatoes."
Oh no.
Yeah.
So, how many people are working down in the galley with us?
Looks like there's you, the ship chef, and 4 apprentice seamen.
Okay, can I see like how well everyone else is doing, or
The ship
everyone-
chef is good at he's good enough to do his job and then cover for the other 4.
okay,
You don't think he knows any of these 4 other people.
okay. So the other 4, are they all peeling potatoes as bad as that one guy, or
No, he's definitely the worst. Like,
Okay.
they have basic cooking skills, but they are not at like chef level like you or the ship's cook.
gotcha?
Can we even
I'm-
have a Disney scene where Godric sings a song to teach the others how to cook better?
He whistles while you work.
I don't think I'm going to do any singing numbers. I think I would tell the chef, like, if there's anything more complicated he needs assistance with, I'm his guy.
You want to be the sous chef?
Yeah.
Okay, he promotes you immediately.
All right.
He wants you to finish those potatoes and then help him with the sauces.
Sauce,
All right,
yeah.
I'll do that.
While you're here, you're noticing equipment that you haven't seen before. There doesn't appear to be any open flame involved in cooking in here.
Is it like some kind of
They use chemically heated plates. You think this might be some sort of alchemy? He like takes sacks and puts a plate in it, and then he like smashes the plate, and the sack you can see has like something heated up bright hot inside of it, and he like puts a pot on top of that.
this is like a giant hand warmer?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. I think I would try to study that as it's like as I'm seeing it. Like just
Make
keep
an
an eye on
Arcana
it and
check.
try to.
Everybody's doing weird magic stuff all of a sudden.
Yeah, this
This
is
is not your Bailiwick.
Nope.
I
I
mean,
only got a 9.
it's definitely alchemy. You don't think it's dwarven alchemy. You've actually never heard of anything like this. You think the reason for it, though, might be because occasionally there's like sawdust and definitely open wood all throughout the ship.
Gotcha.
And like a flame would spread rather rapidly.
Gotcha. I think Godric could mention or just like kind of say offhand like that's a really interesting way of cooking, and he's kind of fascinated by it.
As James has already deduced, it is an induction cooktop.
Yeah.
The alchemical induction cooktop of the Sky Knights. Gwyneria.
Yes.
Much like your companion Tanira, you get to be up on deck when the ship takes off.
Ooh.
This is some wild stuff. So your job right now is to just stand and watch and wait for the work to begin. So there's no like upper mast to this thing yet. There is like a container crate, a tall container crate in the middle of the deck that everyone is avoiding as if something might leap out of it. All along the rim of the top deck, there are orichalcum crystals that have been worked into the wood here. And at a command, the captain says something about working the frac. She says, Master, work the fractioners. We have a number of guests on board. We're a little heavier than normal. I want them in tip-top shape. Speed is not the issue here. Sailing, Master. I don't want any stunsails out. We do not need to make best speed. Plot a course for the disorder and get us off this rock, if you please. And as all of the crystals on the ship, we're not talking like landing light style where each one will light up. They all light up at the same time, and the ship slowly begins to lift up off the ground. As it does, it immediately gets taken by the wind. As it gets pushed away from the top of the mountain, as soon as it's cleared the top of the mountain, someone kicks the box, the crate box, and at the same time, someone looks at Kithrix below decks and like grabs onto the cargo netting and says, "You might want to hang on, miss."
All right, I will do as suggested.
Okay, I need you to make an athletics check.
Okay. Athletics or acrobatics? Could I do either?
I'll take acrobatics, sure. You hang on as the bottom of the ship gull doors open. And you are suddenly, you went from wood under your feet to 1,000+ foot drop in the matter of seconds. And that weird cargo mast just locks down into place, telescopes out, and sails fly out of it. The box on the deck next to Gwyneria, telescoping, sails fly out of it, sails off the side. You can see at the end of each of these masts is a huge rock of orichalcum surrounded by what you think might be either silver or mithril. In the process, the ship suddenly stops, like getting blown all around, anchors perfectly in place.
Impressive.
The shanty man looks at you and he's just, okay. Oh, sorry, didn't catch your name yet. Gwyneria. Maybe?
Gwyn. That's
Gwyn. Okay. You know Shoaltown Rocks?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to do the lead, and then I need you to come in round robin.
All right.
Let's do it. He starts singing, and as he does, people begin hauling on lines. And it looks like some of the crew put their hands on an orichalcum instead and close their eyes. And in the process, the ship starts picking up speed contrary to the wind, and the ship turns and starts heading due east. He starts singing. It is a beat song, you know, I mean, it's a round robin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he opens up with, you know, a song about a washerwoman in a particularly saucy district of the Imperium capital. I just like a performance check from you. I don't know, like, it's assumed that you either make up your own verse or you use one of like hundreds of verses that are pre-made. So is there like, do you make one up on the spot, or is there a go-to you work for?
I think because I'm new to this, I'm going to use an existing one that I've probably come across.
Okay.
Yeah. Something about the washerwoman. She waits and waits. Her
Me-
husband's not home. It's dire straits.
Oh boy! All right, yeah, okay. This is pretty much how the song's supposed to go. Make a performance check.
There we go.
You keep the beat well. Every once in a while, you've never experienced this. The wind in your face is atrocious, and it dries you out very quickly up here. You can see that the dwarves making those face scarves, maybe that was not just for the miners. Like, people up here are starting to put scarves and like head things on, giant goggles. We're not like at steampunk level yet, but they're just making sure that they don't get bugs or wind in their mouth. But you keep the pace up, trading off with the shanty man. And, you know, every time he stops and takes a drink to make sure he keeps nice and moist in those pipes. At first, you're not really sure what all the pulling on the rigging is about, because it seems like you're moving against the wind. But as you're watching, you think that there's magical energy emanating off of the sails. Like, the sails are not there to catch the wind. They're there to push something out of it and force the ship to move in a specific direction. Meanwhile, speaking of people working on the sails, I just want to cut back down to Kithtrix. Someone is just throwing you a rope, and he's just making up names for knots. He's like, all right, you need to do a double halfback, tie that down there, and then loop it around with an airman's knot. And you're just like, I've never heard of any of these.
Yeah, I'll just make up knots myself as I go then.
That is horrendous. Please make a survival check at
No,
disadvantage.
Okay. If you can't tie knots, tie lots.
That's it. Somewhere out there, a slipknot is dying. A 9. You know, you don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Someone has to come down the side of the mast to correct you. As you are working on these ropes, you can feel magical energy moving through them. At this point, you are alone in the sky. You're not on a skyship. You're above the clouds, standing alone.
Okay, I'm looking around, confused.
You look around. Sky in every direction. You look down. Sky. Look up, sky. It couldn't be possible that there's sky in every direction. There's no sun.
Hello? Hello?
You ride the wind with your voice. You can hear yourself saying hello over and over again as you fly behind it. You Doctor Strange, weird fractal shit all over the place. Suddenly, you are erupting out of a volcano, hot lava in every direction around you as you are fired like a gun.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get a bearing for where, like, am I moving through the air? Or am I moving towards
You are
something?
now. You've been shot out of a volcano and you're covered in hot lava.
Yeah. What am I moving towards?
Well, you were flying up in the air, but when you look up, you're headed towards a river.
I'll try and do I recognize anything to get a bearing? Does any of this look familiar?
Make a survival
Land.
check. Just a normal survival check, not disadvantage.
Nice. Hey.
You're headed towards your western forest. You sail over it. It's gone behind you in a blink of an eye. You see things. You know that there's a dam downriver of it, but when you look at it in wherever you're at, it's like hazy, as if it's just like a pile of logs rather than a full structure. Where you know there to be bridges, the same thing happens. It's like they're made out of wood, but the wood is fog.
All right. Do I seem to be coming down or just flying over the top of all this stuff?
I mean, whenever you go down, you go up. Everything is just totally topsy-turvy. You're not really sure what's going on.
All right. I'll probably resume calling out for help again. Like I think I'm in some sort of trance, and maybe someone who is not here or where I actually am will help me out of this, snap me out of it or something.
You start calling for help, and you find yourself floating before a giant tree with crystals embedded in its bark.
Once again, nothing I recognize.
Make a religion check.
Oh, I was sat in the 20 for so long. Roll over the 2. Nope.
You call for help. There are no words to what responds. It's a force that impacts you. You hear your cry for help coming from your very bones.
Why am I here?
You again feel your own cry for help coming from you. Your own lungs are reverberating with it. Your eyes seem to call with it. You're not in pain, but this is so odd.
I want to go back now.
You find yourself back on the mast, the ender mast. Someone's just looking nearby and says, "Oh, you managed to do that right. Okay, well, we're going to need some airman's nuts over here."
Have a look down at what I was holding on to.
It's a knot that was tied correctly, apparently, but you can see where you were tying it, your holy symbol hit your hand. You now have access to your first level cleric spells.
Mm-hmm. Suppose I could use entangle instead of tying ropes, couldn't I?
You want to do it?
No, that's right. Entangle was actually a rage spell anyway. All right. Well, I will keep. I'll keep what I need to do here. At some point, if I have a moment where I don't need to be doing something right away, I want to sort of pull Sparky out and like sit on the end of a mast or something and just try and give him the impression of flying. Like, hold his wings out, let him feel what it feels like to be up here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sparky seems to absolutely love it. What does freak you out is that gravity doesn't seem to affect Sparky up here. He climbs to the underside of your hand. So like your palm down, he climbs to the underside of your hand and lets his wings out.
Okay. Like I'm fearless, so I don't mind climbing out onto awkward spots to give him
Great,
the
that's
impression.
perfect. He loves this shit.
Yeah.
You've never seen him so happy. He stops to eat the gold coin you gave him last night.
All right, well, I'll just enjoy this Titanic moment.
The other sailors are looking at you either like you've completely lost your mind, or maybe you're just one of them. You seem to have taken to skyships rather quickly. Is there any scene anyone wants to do? Because it's a 4-day travel to the Disorder, which is your destination.
Not that I could think of.
Yeah, I can't think of any scene that I would want to go through.
Okay.
I think there's definitely a thing of Kistrix sitting on like something with her book, speaking Tourist Draconic to Sparky.
Sparky is deeply confused as to why you're saying, "Please don't eat me," 20 times in a row. Poorly, too. Very poorly.
Yeah.
In the middle of the third night, you awaken, Tanira. Everyone else in here is asleep. Even your elf friend is trancing. But there is a tall, imposing figure standing in the middle of the deck. the smell of sulfur and brimstone, generating his own red light around him as he says, "So, the divine channel is still open, Tanira. Good. There is someone I want you to bring justice to."
I'll get up and walk over towards him. And who is it?
On the lowest deck of this Chavath, you will find a mutineer and traitor. No one would miss him. He was to fall out into the open air. Push him, and I will give you your power.
I'll see what I can do.
Do not fail me. You make your way to the lowest deck.
Yeah, I'll make my way down there.
No ship is ever truly fully asleep,
Right.
but there's no one working the undersail and the undermast at this point. The ship has anchored itself in space at night with no one putting arcane energy into the orichalcum. It simply hangs above the clouds, hundreds and thousands of feet in the air. You walk down the ladder, the stairs. Cargo area is open with the exception of right at the bottom of these stairs and the cage. The man inside is sleeping.
I'll just probably wrap my hands like across the bars, slowly, just bing, bing, bing.
He startles and wakes. Huh? Who the fuck are you?
Just another adventurer on the ship. Who are you?
Matter.
Well, you're in a cage.
Name's
Seems pretty interesting
Maxwell.
to me.
It's Maxwell, okay? Midshipman Maxwell.
And what have you done to get this lovely home of yours right here?
I abandoned ship on the Feldspar on the Thopter. I knew it was going down, and I thought someone should get away.
What made it go down?
What made it go down? What do you mean, what made it go down?
The
We
ship.
were attacked by drakes, wyverns. The
Oh.
ship was on fire.
Interesting.
You think that's interesting?
Yes, we're probably going to be fighting them soon. I just wanted maybe some more information on
You'd be
what's...
better off running away right now.
Well, running away is not an option for me at the moment. I have a decision to make. And I'm not sure I have the power to make it. I want to see if, I don't know, you're innocent. I've been given a great opportunity, but at the risk of your life.
I'm sorry. Are you my judge? Are you even an Imperium citizen?
I may not be a citizen, but I have the ability to judge, I suppose.
Did the captain send you?
And if she did, does the captain have something against you?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Where is it? There it is.
This guy is getting freaked out. He thinks you're not supposed to be here. You're talking about like judgment. He's about to start calling for someone to come help him.
Is there like a lever or something that makes that? Don't make this hard on yourself. Keep quiet, and I just want to talk.
Okay, he starts taking a deep breath.
Just judging what kind of man you are.
Okay, he starts yelling for help.
I'd drop him.
Make an initiative check real quick.
Yeah.
You need to beat a 12.
There's no combat encounter in your currently seeing.
Yeah, just roll a d20 plus your dexterity. No one here say what the roll is, by the way. We'll all look at it, but we won't tell the audience until we get back from break.
What is my dex?
Could be high, you're a monk.
I know.
It's not like the old days where you could take improved initiative.
5? What? There's two numbers on either side of the dex modifier. What is that?
You have a...
That's your dex saving throw.
Yeah,
So
you have a 60, so you have a plus 3.
Plus 3, okay.
You need to be a 12. You get a 9. No one say anything when this happens. Don't react at all. I'm going to troll the audience for a little bit. Say nothing. We'll be back for the third part very shortly.